Hello, and welcome back to another episode of DevOps Quick Bites, your friendly guide to all things Salesforce DevOps. I'm Rob Cowell, and today we're going to look at the package development model as a means of developing your Salesforce changes and delivering them between environments. So if that sounds good to you, stick around. If you've been working with Salesforce for a while, you've probably experienced the pain of managing releases. Using change sets to migrate configurations or code between environments can be cumbersome, prone to errors, and it doesn't really give you the flexibility to automate your releases. Now, this is where package development could come in. Over recent years, Salesforce development has shifted to a more modular, source-driven model. And that enables us to break down our Salesforce org into smaller, reusable components that can be developed and deployed independently. But it's not without its challenges. Let's dive into how package development works, look at some of its benefits, and some of the roadblocks that you might hit along the way. First, let's look at some of the different types of packages. You've got unmanaged packages, managed packages, and unlocked packages. Unmanaged packages are typically used for open sharing of components. They're great for distributing metadata like your custom objects, your fields, or your Apex code, but they do come with some limitations. Once deployed, the receiving org has full control over those components, meaning that changes aren't easily trackable. For Salesforce DevOps, this can obviously create problems when managing ongoing updates across multiple environments. On the other hand, managed packages are ideal for more controlled releases. They're most commonly used by ISVs, independent software vendors, like partners on the App Exchange, and they use them to distribute and manage the updates for those apps listed on the App Exchange. Managed packages allow for versioning, which means that you can control and track updates, and that makes them perfect for continuous integration and delivery pipelines. But they're also more restrictive. Once a managed package is installed, the components are locked down in the customer's org. One of the best features of managed packages, however, is the ability to push updates to multiple customer environments at once. And that simplifies the deployment process, but also introduces some challenges as you expect, like ensuring backward compatibility and carefully managing those package versions. Now here's where things get really interesting: unlocked packages. Salesforce introduced these as part of Salesforce DX some years ago to give development teams a bit more flexibility. And they combine the best of both worlds. With unlocked packages, you get the modularity and version control benefits of managed packages, but without those restrictions. Unlocked packages allow you to iterate faster by letting you make changes to components and redeploy them quickly. It's a much better fit for agile development teams that need to move fast and maintain that flexibility. They also integrate perfectly with version control systems like Git, making them ideal for a DevOps workflow. So let's break down the pros and cons of each type of package in more detail. Unmanaged packages are easy to create and distribute, and they're good for one-time deployment of metadata. But there's no version control, no tracking of changes, and they're not suitable for continuous updates. Now, managed packages are perfect for app distribution, they support versioning, and they're very easy to push updates to. But the components are locked down, so it's not really ideal for rapid iteration. Finally, unlocked packages are great for source-driven development. They support versioning, they have the flexibility to allow you to make changes and redeploy, but they're still relatively new, so not quite as widely adopted as managed packages in many scenarios. For most Salesforce development teams looking to embrace the packaging model, unlocked packages are the way to go. They enable source-driven development, which means that your Salesforce metadata lives in Git, where you can track every change. And if you combine this with CI/CD tools, you can automate your testing, your deployments, and even rollbacks if something goes wrong. But here's where things can get tricky. Transitioning to a package development model isn't always straightforward, and there's a few key challenges that you should be aware of. The first major hurdle is transitioning from a non-package based setup to using packages. If you've been working in a traditional Salesforce org without using packages, migrating to a package-based approach can be a bit of a big lift. You need to reorganize your metadata and code into smaller modular components, that can be packaged and deployed separately. The process can take time and may require refactoring parts of your org to fit within that package model. But it's worth it in the long run, because once your org is modularized, it's easier to manage, scale, and automate your releases. So to sum it all up, package development, especially unlocked packages, opens the door to a more reliable, scalable, and agile development process for Salesforce. It allows you to break your org into manageable pieces, track every change, and automate deployments in a way that reduces errors and accelerates delivery. So whether you go with unmanaged, managed, or unlocked packages, each has a place depending on your needs. I'd love to hear in the comments whether you already use packages or have thought about how they could fit in your lifecycle. And of course, don't forget to subscribe for more DevOps Quick Bites. In the meantime, I'll see you in the next episode.